today's practice to Thursday's practice?
Yeah, that was, well, Thursday we got to get better at being able to practice with helmets on. That's a skill, right? And we probably need another one of those practices because you got to be able to do that in fall camp or in the season mode. So we got to get better at that. Today's practice is probably our best practice we've had this spring, in my opinion. Back and forth all day, competitive, juice, detail, adversity, kids responded to, kids got in their feelings, then they snapped out of it. Like, it was a really, really good day.
Coach Rashada and Badger transfer portal.
Yeah, I wish them nothing but the best. You know, I know they were out all spring for us, and you know, they're both working their way back in. Both really good young men. I wish them the best.
How does it change what you do now? Do you obviously probably need to get more quarterbacks?
Yeah, it really changes nothing. We're probably going to bring in a quarterback regardless, and we're going to bring in a wideout regardless. You know, we had 86 scholarships, and we were going to bring in about 3 to 4 guys via the portal, planning on losing 5 to 6 guys just naturally through the process. So, to be honest, this is kind of what I expected dating back to January. You know, or in some way, shape, or form, not these specific guys, but just this thing that was going to happen naturally, especially when you're good in the wideout room.
This is such a prevalent thing now, right? Transfer portal, guys are in, guys are out, moving constantly. How do you deal with all that?
Oh, transparency, like I told our guys today. Said there's going to be people around the country right now who bring you in, tell you how good you are, tell you how you're important to the team, how you need to stay here, make practice easier, maybe do something nice for you, take you to dinner, right? It's real. It's what happens. What I said is, screw that. Compete. And we're going to challenge you. We're going to push you. If you're going to be here, you're going to push yourself. And if you don't want to be here, then don't. But if you're here, get ready to be challenged. And that's what we talked about today at practice. And the guys love it. The guys love that. They love that chip. They love that energy. And they came out today and had a great day and responded well.
Did you feel that good practice today might have been as a result of that kind of inspiration you had this morning?
Yeah, I mean, you got to love it.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta love to compete. If you don't love to compete and you're one toe, and that's why I don't fight for kids to stay. Because if you're one toe in, if there's a little bit that's not all in, you have no chance to reach your potential. But if we have a football team that's all in, every single person, every single day, everybody's gonna become a multiplier. And if you get 120 kids that are multiplying each other to become better, everybody's gonna reach a higher potential than they thought they could ever be. But if you get some people that divide, right, you bring everybody else down. So this football team will be filled with multipliers. We're going to have people that are all in, no doubt. Any doubt in your mind, you shouldn't be here, right? And let's load the buses and let's go to war.
Coach, with competition, I know you're talking obviously, I mean, the defense we touched on the secondary, just each practice it seems to get better and better. Again, I think it's obviously a great headache to have for Coach Ward and you to figure out, I mean, who is starting out there?
Yeah, I mean, on defense, you got to play 22 guys. So it's different than offense. You know, offense, you really don't play. Maybe you may play 22, but you may play 8 guys up front, 7 guys up front, rotational backs and skill. But on defense, you have to be 8 to 10 deep up front, right, along your front 4. You got to at least play 8 guys, right? Hopefully you can get 10 in there, right? Linebacker, you got to have 4, right, that can play. And then the back end, you got to be able to rotate those guys, especially at safeties and nickels. So I think the depth in our defense is what shows up. And to be honest, that's what's going to help our guys stay fresh. That's what's going to help them play good football, is the fact that they're not going to have to play 70 snaps a game. And the last thing you want to do is go play 75, 80 snaps a game for 12 games. You want to be able to get rested and put on film your best football. The only way to do that is to have depth. And the best defenses in the country have depth, especially on the defense side of the ball. I think we're building to that. And today, you know, Jeff Clark flashed. I mean, multiple times. Jeff Clark and JP, the twitchiness off the ball flashed. They created penetration. They were in the backfield on screens. Their twist games by getting up the field and setting the edge to through the B gap. It started to click why we recruited those guys and why we wanted those guys here.
Coach, with Jaden leaving, is it kind of just Sam's the guy right now?
Yeah, if we started a game today, Sam would be the guy. No, we're not starting a game today. And like I told him, we're bringing in somebody to beat your butt out. If you don't like that, don't be here. Like, we'll always do that. I'm never going to bring in a guy and say, listen, you're going to be depth. Because I'm bringing in a loser. Like, I'm bringing in a guy I don't want in our program. We're going to bring somebody in here who wants to win the starting job, but understands if he doesn't win it, you better be a good teammate. You better come in here and show support. And that's the type of guy we're going to bring in, a guy who's talented enough to compete, who has fire to win it, and it's going to be another war. It's going to be another battle, because that's what football, that's what sport is about. And I'm not going to concede defeat to the portal and all this world that we're in. No, it's still about competition, and we're still going to breed competition. And the guys are here going to compete. Nothing's going to be handed to them, and we're going to continue to build and build and build with that culture.
Is it limiting or just more challenging, just the nature of the reality of teams only having 2-3 quarterbacks on scholarship now quite often?
100%. That's a great question. Yes. The lack of, it's hard to be the 4th scholarship quarterback now, because, where do you ever fit? That's a challenge. And quarterback, you only play 1, right? So if you're 4, that's a challenge. If you do want to see the field, you got to transfer. And that's the thing. Kids transfer, some for really good reasons. Nobody wants to say that, but it's true. We have guys transfer for really good reasons. Really good reasons. And I understand it. So it's not, I support it. That's why I always support guys. Quarterback is one of those positions that if you're not the dude and somebody's in your class, you got to go. If you're 4th in the depth chart and you're a sophomore and you want to play, it's going to be challenging to change that. And so if you want to play, you got to go. So for that, you have to sign really, really good walk-ons. And you have to sign walk-ons that can go in the game, play for you, be competitive, and somebody you trust.
Is Navi that guy so far in camp?
Yeah, Navi's done a phenomenal job. He's done a great job. He's a worker. He's always out there getting extra. And then we're bringing in another guy here as well in that room from a walk-on standpoint, who's a scholarship guy at another institution.